Welcome back to Let's Talk Chatter That Matters. Thanks for joining us as we continue our discussion on domestic violence. Today's topic is how to help a loved one if they are in an abusive relationship. This may include creating a safety plan, getting legal help, educating them about the resources that are available, and providing them with strength and validation. We have all of our domestic violence case managers with us today who will be giving us a deeper look into the most effective ways to help someone through it all. So let's get right into it.
Assalamu alaikum. We are continuing our discussions on domestic violence and how it affects our communities and individuals. Many of us come across situations where we have loved ones or friends who are going through difficult situations at home, often situations of domestic abuse or violence, but they're not ready yet to seek external help. What can we do to assist them? Right? One of the most important things that we as case managers do is to make a safety plan with somebody who is considering leaving a situation of abuse. What does a safety plan constitute? So, one of the most important thing to understand is that a lot of people don't have ready access to important documents, right? So, if a situation comes in which they have to flee or leave their home in an emergency situation, they will not have things like their passports, marriage certificates, educational certificates, children's birth certificates, school documents, all of those things. So, it is important to plan ahead to have all these things in a safe and accessible place that is easy to take. If that is not possible, then the next best thing is to scan these documents and email them to yourself so you always have access to them. That will really make things easier if you decide to leave or if someone decides to leave. Another important thing is phone numbers, attorneys, social service organizations, emergency numbers. All of these need to be on your phone. Absolutely. And your phone must always be with you. If there are any trusted neighbors or friends who are aware of the situation, maybe a conversation with them that if they suspect that there is any form of violence or sounds that are worrisome, that they can either intervene or call the police, or some sort of conversation will go a long way in protecting your family. If there are any cash savings, make sure you have them in a safe, accessible place that you can take them. Jewelry, car keys, if possible, get a copy, phone. Sometimes we give our clients burner phones to use to contact with us because their phones are heavily monitored by their partners. So that's not a bad idea if that's possible to have one. Google Voice number is another option in which you can conceal your identity and make calls with privacy. And it is important sometimes to have a code. If the situation is violent or is likely to turn very violent, you have a code with your friends or with your supporters, with your children, even if you're planning on fleeing. For example, in some states, if you call 911 and say, I want to order a pizza, they know it's a domestic violence situation, and the cops will check in, right? Another important thing is to give some thought to where you are going to go if you leave. And I think that is something really important to think about. Also, many individuals in our communities don't make it a point to save their passwords and logins for their bank accounts, for their government accounts, all of that. So it is very important that you either have them on your phone or have them on you at all times. I think anybody can help create a safety plan. You don't really need professional help. Your friends, family, all of us, know somebody who might be in a difficult situation, and we can help just by doing simple safety planning to ensure that that they can flee a violent situation safely.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jihane Ghenim, and I'm a caseworker here at An-Nisa Hope Center. And another thing the community need to understand, and I would like to address today, are the threats that refrain often a lot of people that want to seek help. 90% of my clients live under threats. Um, They are terrified to report an abuse to authorities, or even seek help or support from organizations like us, or even to a friend or a neighbor. We hear threats every day from our clients, and they fear to pick up a phone or share their story. And they live under these threats for many years. Threats can be like, if you report me, you will be homeless as you don't have an income. You will be deported as you don't have a green card or you're not a citizen. You will lose your kids. That's the one that we really hear often, and that's terrifying because no one wants to lose his or her kids. So you will lose your kids because I am the provider, or you will go to jail. I will tell everyone you are crazy. So just please keep in mind, these are threats. These are just words. They are myths that abusers use to threaten their victims. And knowledge is key in these cases. You have to know your rights. So it's, do not let these threats, intimidate you or come in your way to seek help. There are laws. There are laws to protect you. There are laws out there to protect you. Even if you are undocumented, whatever your financial situation is, there are laws out there to protect you. Organizations like us to advocate for you and provide you with resources. So do not, please, do not hesitate to reach for help because you are not alone.
That's great,
Yeah.
Jahan. That's really
Yeah, that's a
important.
very important point. Like,
Especially the
often,
kids, right?
yeah.
That's the
Yes,
one that is
that's
the most
terrifying.
powerful.
So we
Yeah, they
often,
always use the kids. Assalamu alaikum. So yeah, and both of you mentioned very important points: safety planning and making people understand their rights, whether they're documented or undocumented, is excellent. Like really important. Another thing I would say is, if somebody comes to you, a loved one, and they're not ready to seek help, it's really important that you don't judge them, because it must have taken them so much courage to have to even tell somebody outside of themselves about their situation. And that point of contact is make or break for them, because you don't know what it took for them to come and talk to you. So please, if someone does come and talk to you, or if you go, don't don't judge. Don't confuse our religion with culture. Don't give them religious, that, oh, this is okay, and
Sabar
it's okay,
karo,
do
be
sabr.
patient.
Yeah, it's very important to understand that there's a difference between religion and culture. Some cultures might allow abuse because that's what has
has
been
been
for
practiced.
centuries, what's
Yeah.
been practiced. But that's not our religion. In our religion, no form of abuse is tolerated. That's period. We need to understand that. Another thing is, don't blame them. Sometimes we don't even realize it and we start blaming the person. Oh, what did you do to cause him to get angry? I know mothers that have said that to their daughters. Oh, what did you do to cause them to be angry? No, that's not what they want to hear right now.
And
That's
that's
not.
not even true.
Yeah, so many times. It's like you have to understand that you're pushing them away. If they are suffering and they've come to you, do everything you can to make them feel welcome. Don't guilt trip them also. Oh, you're going to leave? You're not, don't you think about your kids? Don't you care about your kids? Please understand that a toxic home in which there's constant abuse is much worse than leaving. If you have two separate homes that are better and they're more effective, it's much better. But what I want you to understand is, it doesn't necessarily mean, just because you're seeking help, and what we said last time too, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're leaving. It could also mean that you're trying to build your home back up.
We help with couples counseling. Our first job is marriage counseling. That's what we want to do. We want to try to bring the family together if it's in any way possible. If it's not, then yes, we empower the survivor, we empower the victim, we make sure that they're able to be self sufficient. But our first thought process is that how can we try, if the woman wants or if the man wants, to bring them together. And one thing is very important: if both parties are ready to change, change does happen. Don't think that, oh, it's impossible.
Yeah, the
No,
people never
the
change.
people never
Yeah.
change. Change does happen. So, encourage that too, that, you know what, yes, this is an abusive situation, and yes, this is happening, but, is there a chance that things could
Mhm.
work out, that you can get professional help to make it work? And again, as Razia said, please don't ask them to be patient. No, that's not the solution. You don't be patient and waste the time and make a situation so that it can't be saved.
Yeah, you're just enabling the abuse, the abusive. Yeah.
Yes, and we cannot, as a community, as a society, we can't enable abuse. Please, we have to make sure that we are there for that person that's come to us. Be that trusted source. And inshallah,
So this is what I mean, the important thing is to be interacting with someone that who is going through domestic violence or abuse or some undesirable situation. So the first and most important thing is to validate. So whoever is going through, it's not easy for them to acknowledge that. Like if we think, like if we go out and talk to a friend and just acknowledge that, oh, this is what has been going on with between me and my partner, so this is a huge step. So that's the first thing they need to, that you need to validate that. And validation can be done, like it's not nothing, you don't have to go far like to do anything. It can be with your words, and you just say, like, this is not your fault. And at the same time, don't put all the blame on the other person. Is the action that is the thing that caused this situation. And other thing you want to hear, if you are in this situation, that you are not alone. I'm here for you, and I believe you. So these are the things someone, you can comfort your loved one or your friend, whoever it is. And
Yeah. And I
right.
think this kind of support, community support, support from friends, support from family, actually it doesn't enable people to leave. It just makes them, stronger in their situation, and often that leads to families staying together, doing better, the abuse ending, because the survivor of the abuse is able to stand up and put a stop to it.
validation is really important.
Yeah, so especially with the emotions, like you
Yes.
can tell them, like, your emotions are valid. It's not something they're making up in their mind. Because sometimes, that happens. Like,
Yeah.
someone say, oh, no, 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 it's your, like,
Because
vahem.
people feel, am I crazy for feeling this way?
Yeah.
And sometimes when they come and tell you, they want that validation that no, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
And they're
It's
already
okay.
thinking, that maybe I could have done something differently, when that is not the case in abusive situations.
Most importantly, why don't you just leave? That is,
Yeah.
why didn't you just leave? Even after people leave after 10 years, 12 years, that's a question they get, that why didn't you just leave? Nobody knows the entire situation. That is
Yes.
not a question
Yeah.
to
that
ask.
that is
You
should
know?
be not something to ask. And make sure that the other person understand that you are not judging. That is very important. And like once you see that they are at the level that they want to move forward, then you can bring the resources, like as we provide the help and everything. And but there's a time when one person who's been going through all this can be ready and should be ready.
And let them know that, I have I have resources that I can help you once you're ready to move forward.
Yes.
We really
You know?
hope that this helps. We really hope that, we are able to support each other as community, as friends, as family members, and if anybody needs more information, please check out our Facebook page, Instagram, website. We have loads of information out there.
And one more thing, I want to bring back the knowledge. Don't, if you see red flags, there are so many, and I think there's another topic that we will cover another day. The red flags. I mean, seek help. Be safe and ask. Ask for information.
Yeah.
You have to know your rights. Don't be in the dark. Don't be isolated. You are a person, you are smart, and you're not alone. So seek help, seek knowledge, and be prepared,
Yeah.
anytime you see red flags.
Yeah.
And we are here for you.
We
Yes,
are all
thank
here for
you
you.
so
Thank you so
much.
much. Bye.
If you or a loved one are in a domestic violence situation, please remember that there is always help available. An-Nisa's helpline is available 7 days a week. Give us a call at 832-324-9111. Thank you for chatting with us today. Don't forget to subscribe and share our podcast. And tune in next week for your weekly dose of chatter that matters. See you next time.